So I thought I should make a quick video comparing Sweden and the UK in the way they're dealing with the coronavirus. Our politicians are doing the best they can, and for the first time in my life I'm actually happy and pleased with our politicians. They are being very, very reasonable. They are doing all the right things. They're being transparent. They're taking advice from the experts, and there is no bullshit and political drama. It's actually very, very refreshing to see how our country is dealing with this crisis and how the government is handling it in every possible way. But our journalists, who are the scum of the planet, it's just unbelievable. Every channel you switch on the TV or YouTube, journalists all around the world have completely lost it. There was a time when journalists had integrity and honesty and they were trying to find the truth. Now this is all about sensationalism and how they can sell the news. Every day they have a call that's televised live where the government gives us an update and gives us the facts and figures and then tells us what's happening. Then at the end of this call, there is a question and answer session with all the journalists. And every day, it's shocking how the BBC's Laura Kuenssberg sounds like an absolute moron. The kind of questions they ask, it seems like each journalist has written down a list of questions before they've heard anything, and whether it's relevant or not, they're going to pose those questions because now they have a list and they have to go through them. Sometimes you listen to the whole thing and then they ask a question and you're like, were you even listening to this? It seems not. And then they always seem like they're trying to catch the politicians and the government out. So they're saying, well, were you not too late in imposing all these restrictions? And then the government says we're following the guidelines given to us by our experts and we are following that. But I can tell you for sure, for guarantee, if the government had been overcautious and done it in advance, and then we had a big economic impact, then these journalists would have said, well, you caused the economic downturn and all the recession because you took these steps too early. So whatever they do, they are not going to win because the journalists are there to catch them out and make their lives difficult. Every politician these days is trying their best to save the people, save the country. No one, not a single politician on this planet would want to do stupid and horrible things or lie to the people, because if they do, they're dead. Their career is over forever. But journalists, on the other hand, they don't seem to care. And the thing is, none of these journalists ever seem to get fired for misreporting, lying, and creating havoc. The crisis, every time that happens, is exponentially worsened because of the press, the media, what they send out to the wider population and how they create mass hysteria. And in the crisis that happened in 2007, 2008, it was the same thing. Newspapers, the sensationalism was so rife that people ended up pulling their money out of the stock markets and it led to a collapse. If the journalists are sensible and they are pragmatic and they don't sensationalize news, they just tell you the facts in all honesty, then none of these problems would happen. Anyhow, now they're all saying, well, Sweden is doing this and Sweden is doing that and UK isn't. And some of the newspapers, not just the UK ones, around the world, they're commenting and saying, oh, Sweden's making a big mistake and this and that and the other. First of all, why is it anyone else's problem what's Sweden doing internally? Because if they end up damaging their economy, if they end up killing their people, they have to answer to their own people. It's not our problem to go and interfere in their internal policies. If their population is happy with it, then let them be. I don't want people coming and interfering in the British matters, so why should we go and interfere in Swedish matters? It's the same thing when Brexit was happening. There were so many people around the world moaning about British people and what they're doing. It's our internal matter. Calm the fuck down. I went onto the internet because I wanted to look at some numbers and see why Sweden and the UK are different. And from my point of view, the biggest thing is Sweden per square kilometer is the third biggest country in Western Europe. Yes, most people may not know this. The biggest country in Western Europe is France, followed by Spain, then Sweden, Norway, Germany, Finland, Poland, Italy, and then the UK. UK is number 9. So to give you an idea, Sweden is 450,000 square kilometers. UK is 242,000 square kilometers. So we are half the size of Sweden. Now, let me tell you the population. Sweden, for those 450,000 square kilometers, has 10.1 million people. And for the 242,000 kilometers that we have in the UK, we have 68 million people. Some say 70, but let's say 68 according to the last 2018 numbers. So that makes, per square kilometer, Sweden has 22 people and we have 280 people per square kilometer. So the fact is that UK is a very highly densely populated country. There are more people per square kilometer here than in other countries. I mean, the only other country that comes close is Germany, which has 234 people per square kilometer, and Germany is 1.5 times the size of the UK per square kilometer. So it's 358,000 square kilometers. The reason why it's going to spread rapidly in countries with dense population and smaller areas is because people are in close proximity to each other. So Sweden can afford to have a relaxed attitude towards this because they have 10 million people spread over this massive land, and their lifestyle is very different as well. So if you look at the Swedish lifestyle, they're more into health, they're more outdoorsy, sporty kind of people, they eat healthy, they exercise, they look after their physical well-being. Then they have lower levels of stress because Swedes live a balanced life where they don't stress out too much and they take time off to relax. So as a result, the general immunity and physiological and psychological well-being of those people is much better than those in the UK. In the UK, people eat fatty food, deep fried food. They drink a lot. We have a massive pub culture. People finish work every day and then go to the pub for drinking. Generally, the food is very unhealthy, but people blame it on the weather, but the lack of exercise is just part of the culture. People prefer going to the pub for a drink rather than going out for a run or a jog. So generally, yes, we are improving slowly, so it's not all doom and gloom. But if you look at the massive population, we have fat, unhealthy people all over the country. Sweden, on the other hand, has very slim, fit, and healthy people, and a very, very small population for a big country. So they can afford to have this kind of a relaxed attitude towards the virus, which we can't. Because if you let our people loose on the streets, they're going to go back to a pub, and within 2 days, the whole country will be exposed to the virus. And of course, our resources are scarce. But the point I'm trying to make here is that because we are such a highly populated country, our health system requires a lot more money to be spent on it. And it has to be able to cater for X amount of population to be sick at any one point. If half of the population gets severely sick, we can't handle it. But Sweden, for example, very low population, they might be able to handle it much better. So the bottom line, or the summary of all of this, is that every country has different types of people, different types of lifestyle, different population density. So we can't compare just by saying Sweden is doing this, and UK is doing this, and Italy is doing this. The weather, the lifestyle, the health condition, there's so many factors that impact how a virus is transmitted from one person to the other, and how that person deals, as in their body is able to fight the virus. If you're unhealthy, if you are sick, if you're fat, all of those things will make your body work harder and have more severe symptoms. So I think this video has gone on too long, so I will stop here and let you guys come to your own conclusions from what I've just told you. Thanks for watching.